A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Lunchtime News here on MTV Sports. I'm Nicola D'Zoiza. First, let's start off with a look at the headlines. President says that he will stand by those officers who take decisions for the welfare of the people. Distribution of polling cards for the upcoming provincial council polls to take place on the 27th of this month. India celebrates 67 years of independence. President Mahinda Rajapaksa says that he will stand by those officers who make decisions for the welfare of the people. The president expressed this view at an event held at Temple Trees yesterday.
This event at Temple Trees was held to present appointment letters to the administrative officers who completed a one-year training program after passing the Tamil medium examination for the state administrative service. The appointments were made for the northern and eastern provinces. People come to the state service for assistance with tears in their eyes. Treat them with respect. Provide solutions for their problems. You should consider this as a public service and not otherwise. The public service is similar to serving the God. Do not ever forget it. If you serve sincerely, I will protect you. If it is a task that you are doing based on your conscience, do not hesitate to do it.
Meanwhile, the Elections Secretariat has decided to commence the distribution of the polling cards for the North, Central and Northwestern Provincial Council elections on the 27th of August. Thereby, polling cards are to be handed over to the Department of Post on the 27th. The Elections Secretariat stated that September 8th has been declared as a special date for the distribution of polling cards. The Deputy Elections Commissioner, Advisor SP Sumanasiri, said that the distribution of polling cards will conclude on the 13th of September. Moving on, Minister of State Management Reforms Naveen Dissanayake said that if the police had been given the authority to control the Rathapaswala protests, the situation would have reached a peaceful solution. He expressed these views at a public meeting held in Nuwara yesterday.
This public meeting was held last evening in the Buona Vista area. For the past 2 weeks, the Rathapaswala issue has cropped up. What we are saying is that at that instance, the police should have been given the task of controlling the protests in a peaceful manner. So I think that the President has taken some good decisions regarding the matter. He will ensure that the wrongdoers are punished. He will punish who even fired the gunshot, even if he is from the army. The UNP has said that this incident should be internationally reported. This is not necessary. There is no need to bring shame to our country.
Still in local news, a police officer died in an accident which occurred in the Galnava-Migalava area in Anuradhapura. The police officer who died was a sergeant attached to the Migalava police.
The accident occurred when the police sergeant returning home from duties travelling on a motorbike attempted to overtake a lorry and collided with another oncoming lorry. According to the police, the 53-year-old sergeant was a resident of the Galnava area. The driver of the two lorries were arrested following the accident. Meanwhile, a monk passed away after he was run over by a lorry on the A9 road opposite the Gangarama Viharya in Rambava. The monk, sustaining severe injuries in the accident, which occurred at around 10:30 last night, died upon admission to hospital. The police said that the lorry has been impounded and the driver of the lorry has been arrested.
Newsfirst U reporter Chandrasena Gamage filed this report from Ranna.
An accident occurred last evening at around 4 p.m. along the Ranna road in Koswatha, Anuradhapura, when a lorry collided with a motorcycle. Two persons aged 42 and 65 who were travelling on the motorcycle died on impact. Their bodies are currently placed in the Thangal hospital for the post-mortem examinations.
Newsfirst U reporter Chandrasena Gamage, Ranne Sita.
The Ministry of Environment says that a new policy will be formulated for the management of waste. Secretary to the Ministry, DMUT Basnaika, said that the policy will be implemented together with the Ministry of Local Government.
The policy was previously implemented only for solid waste in 2007. However, we have now decided to implement a new policy which deals with the management of all types of waste. So the Ministry of Environment along with the Ministry of Local Government have held training programs to update the existing policy. We have also taken adequate measures for the management of waste in the future. We hope to implement a program for all units involved in the management of waste for this purpose.
Minister of Child Development and Women's Affairs Thissa Karaliyada says that regulations would be brought forth to prohibit mothers with children below the age of 5 from seeking employment overseas. Minister Thissa Karaliyada said that this measure will be enforced subsequent to discussions with the Minister of Foreign Employment Promotion.
A decision was made previously to prohibit parents with children under the age of 18 from seeking employment overseas. Various views were expressed regarding this matter. We decided that this needs to be done in an appropriate manner. Instructions have been given to the officials to gather information on all the women who seek employment abroad and to inquire into their places of employment. For example, if it's a 3-story house in which the domestic worker will be employed, the employer will need to have 3 domestic aides. One domestic aide cannot do all the work.
Today, India marks their 67th anniversary of independence. According to a media release, the Prime Minister of India, Manmohan Singh, commemorated the leading government party of India, the Congress Party, of 10 years of victory. A special event was held in Colombo today to mark this milestone.
Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh warned neighbouring Pakistan against carrying out anti-India activities from its territory while addressing the countrymen on the 67th Independence Day. He further said that there is room for narrow-minded racist views in modern and developing countries. Military drills were held in the state of New Delhi by the Air Force, Land and Sea to commemorate the 67th independence of India. Singh said that this slow phase in Indian economy wouldn't last long. A special ceremony was held at the Indian High Commissioner's office in Colombo to mark the 67th anniversary of India. This was held under the auspices of the Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka.
We are indeed privileged to be in a country with amongst the people with whom we enjoy millennia of friendship, of connectivity, of empathy and of affection. I have been here barely 2 months, not even 2 months, but I have felt the warmth and the affection and the love of the people of this great country of Sri Lanka. The hand of friendship with Sri Lanka will always be extended.
First up in international news, Egypt's army-backed interim prime minister has defended the government's decision to order the crushing of camps of supporters of deposed President Mohamed Morsi, saying authorities had no choice but to act.
In a televised statement yesterday, Hazem El-Biblawi said the decision to break up the protest was not easy and came only after the government had given mediation efforts a chance. He said, quote, that he found matters had reached a point that no self-respecting state could accept, unquote, citing what he describes as the spread of anarchy and attacks on hospitals and police stations. The streets of Egypt's second city, Alexandria, were almost deserted on Wednesday night as security forces enforced a curfew. The government imposed a month-long state of emergency after riot police backed by armoured vehicles, bulldozers and helicopters swept away 2 encampments of pro-Morsi supporters, setting off running street battles in Cairo and other Egyptian cities. Security forces shot dead scores of people in the assault on the camps, defying international pleas to show restraint restraint after 6-week standoff with Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood supporters. Vice President Mohammed El Baradi resigned, saying peaceful means could still have been found to end the confrontation, but other members of the government have rallied behind the decision to use force. Beblawi said the state of emergency would be for the shortest period possible, adding that the government was committed to an army-backed roadmap to restore democracy. At least 238 civilians were killed nationwide, many of them in the crackdown on the protest sites. The ministry said 43 members of Egypt's police force were among those killed. The death toll continues to rise, with Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood saying the actual number of dead is more than 2,000.
In tennis news, Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray set out on another collision course after the world's top two players strolled into the third round of the Western and Southern Open yesterday.
Murray got his North American hardcourt campaign back on track with a 6-2, 6-3 decision of Mikhail Yuzny. Murray, who had a slow start to the hardcourt season with a third-round loss in Montreal last week, arrived in Cincinnati eager to get in matches ahead of the US Open, where he will arrive as a defending Grand Slam champion for the first time.
6-2.
Juan Martín del Potro was involved in a compelling match against Nikolai Davydenko before he eventually emerged victorious over the Russian 7-5, 7-5. The Argentine finished off the match with an ace to progress to the third round. Djokovic was all business on an unusually chilly afternoon on the outskirts of Cincinnati, easing past Argentine Juan Monaco 7-5, 6-2. The big Serb, who has 4 runner-up finishers on the Ohio hard courts, will be determined to be the last man standing and become the first player to complete what the ATP Tour has dubbed the Career Golden Masters and win all 9 World Tour Masters titles. Rafael Nadal didn't have the first set struggles the big Serb did, cruising past German qualifier Benjamin Becker 6-2, 6-2 in 1 hour and 16 minutes. Nadal, a 2-time Cincinnati semi-finalist, will go for his 50th match win of the season when he plays Bulgarian Grigor Dimitrov in the third round.
In more sports news, 2 goals each from Alexis Sanchez and Jean Boursejeau helped Chile beat Iraq 6-0 in an international friendly in Copenhagen, Denmark yesterday.
Chile overwhelmed Iraq in the opening half and took the lead after just 7 minutes when a corner was cleared only as far as Eugenio Mena, and the fullback scored a cracker from outside the area. Their lead was doubled in the 22nd minute as Jean Boursejeau's first-time cross found Alexis Sanchez, and he manoeuvred himself some space in the box and found the back of the net. It was 3-0 in the 28th minute as Marcelo Diaz's cross was headed in by Barcelona clubman Sanchez for his second of the match. Sanchez was a constant threat and he showed some trickery in the box when he controlled Mauricio Isla's cross and then backheeled into Boursejeau's path. He poked the ball into the net via the post. Boursejeau made it 5-0 in first half injury time. Sanchez was once again the provider as he slipped a through ball into the area, and the Wigan Athletic forward beat Ali Atiyah to the ball and chipped over the advancing Iraqi keeper Noor Al-Bayrawi. Brian Rabejo replaced Boursejeau just after the hour mark and quickly made an impact as he provided the assist for Chile's 6th goal in the 80th minute. It was Manchester United striker Angelo Henriquez who scored it as Chile eased to a 6-0 win.
Well, that's all the news for now. Join us again at 1:55 on Live at 55 with the very latest. I'm Nicola Bizoiza for Newsfirst.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.